Hello, friends. Good morning, and welcome to this edition of Morning Brew. And as you know, that there is a major debate growing in India about military schools. Sending your children to military school, and that is exactly what we are comparing. We are not trying to compare the civilian education system versus the military education system. It is a very interesting discussion, and we are live across all social media platforms. If you want to get associated, use the chat function on your social media, whichever social media you're watching us from, and your questions will be flashed instantly on the screen, and I will answer by taking your name. So let's start our discussion. Welcome back, friends. And the biggest expectation of the parents of yesterday as well as for today is that they are selecting a school based on certain levels. You don't want to send your children to a school which does not have facilities. So, number one is that you are looking for a right type of infrastructure available in the school so your children can become bright students, and they can come out on the basis of meritocracy in the school. And that is why you basically spend a lot of your time and energy selecting the right school for your children. Every parent do that. Even 100 years back, this was the norm, and that is why the schools basically build infrastructure, because they want to showcase that they have so many facilities in their schools. They have the right type of teachers, they have the right type of building, they have a playground, etc. They have games, they have swimming pool, etc. So these are the infrastructure that you as a parent are looking for before deciding on a school for your children. And the journey for your children start very early, probably around 3 to 4 years of age, where they start going into the play school and then get into the mainstream school at the age of 5. Now, all this has been decided by certain principles of teaching. And when you talk about the principle of teaching, the schools also advertise the affiliation. They say that, hey, we are affiliated with this teaching methodology, we follow this teaching methodology, and all of that is conveyed to the parents when you are pursuing a right school, trying to evaluate the right school for your kids. Now let's look at this in a more realistic manner. Why you're looking for that right school in terms of infrastructure, in terms of methodology? Simply because you want your children to have a discipline in life, because undisciplined mind is unruly mind. If the children cannot control their emotions, cannot have such certain policies as they grow up, and the mind does not become in that manner, the chances are the adult, when they become adult, they will be unruly. And that is why a serious parent would want to provide the best school so that a better disciplined life can be imparted into their kids. Well, parents are doing their bit, but 6 to 7 hours of the day your children will be spending at the school. That is why that 6 to 7 hours are most critical, because during that 6 to 7 hours the children are most active. When they are school, they are interacting with teachers, they are attending various classes, and they are doing their classwork and also noting down their homework. They are following a timetable in terms of, so all of this help them to basically develop a sense of discipline. And certain schools says that, hey, we are very disciplined. Other school says that we are slightly lenient, so not so disciplined. So all kinds of schools are there, all kinds of ideologies the school follow, and based on what parents feel comfortable, they choose the school. But I think discipline, inculcating the good habits of having a discipline in life is one of the key aspect of the school which you will end up selecting. What is the next key aspect? Because all of these things are available in the civilian school learning system, but you will still have to go and evaluate. So second is the learning. What is the level of teaching the schools are giving? What is the qualification of the teachers? What is their teaching methodology? Will the child who is actually going to the school, will they actually learn something, or they will not learn anything? So these are certain things which you look at. You probably like to go examine, talk to other students who are there, judge the capabilities in terms of knowledge by interviewing, basically follow the review of the schools, see the senior classes, what they are doing, etc. So I think this is also one of the key items, that the learning methodology is very important for you as a parent before you select a right school for your children. And again, the schools are aware of these things, and they actually talk about these things. If you go through the prospectus of the school, they very elaborately talk about the methodology, the teaching methodology, type of teachers, how many teachers, how many students per class, so that their attention of the teacher can be provided to young minds, etc. So they advertise, they actually make you aware in their prospectus or brochure, and based on this information, you choose the school for your child. So learning becomes a key parameter before you select a school. The next one is logical thinking. Logical thinking is a very key attribute that you would like as a parent to be given to your child. Well, what is logical thinking? The intelligence is something that you are born with. A child is born intelligent. All children are born intelligent. They by themselves learn to walk. They by themselves learn to talk, and they by themselves learn to eat. I think that is a sign of intelligence. So they are born intelligent. However, application of intelligence is called wisdom, and the journey from intelligence to wisdom is logic. The application of logical intelligence is called wisdom, and that is why you have to think logically. Now, why it is important for schools to teach logical thinking and not give the answer to each and every problem? Because the child has to think on his own. The child has to do an analysis of the problem which he is seeing in front of himself, and he may come out with 10 solutions, but which one is the best? The child has to apply his mind and wisdom to logically apply in that condition that he is facing. And therefore, many schools openly advertise that they don't want to tell the answers to the children in the class. Instead, they inculcate the good habit of logical thinking and only provide support in terms of encouragement to help them think logically. So some of the schools are doing that, some of the schools are doing something else. But I think this is one of the most important things running in parent mind before they start selecting a school for their children. So how the logical thinking is being imparted? What are the methodologies? Are there any special course being provided by the school? All of these things you actually evaluate before you send your kid to the school. And nowadays, especially in last 25 years, the network of friend circle has also become very important. You see, what happens is if you're coming from a particular school, like say for example, a large school, management school like IIM, then you actually immediately become part of a network of IIM grads, and you will have your classmates, and then you will also have your seniors and juniors. But the opportunity of coming out with this kind of friend circle is very limited to very high-end schools. And there are very high-end schools like Doon schools, which produce a lot of politicians in our country. Well, politicians and all these management institute one of the key items they deliver is the friend circle. Now that has been being percolated down into the schools lately for last 10, 20, 12 years, and this is becoming a very important feature, especially for the modern management executives, because they understand that when they came out of the schools, their schools in their life, they had to build a network on their own while working in corporate life. And they realize that if their children come up with a network of their own, then they will be much more productive. So the parents of today are looking for the schools which are able to offer a good cohesive friend circle, so that when the children get into the corporate life or work life, they will have a network of their own of like-minded people with whom they will do their activities, business, or whatever they want to do, maybe family ties, etc. So this has become a very important feature of this schooling of today. Now let's understand how the military education fare on these aspects, which are some of the most critical aspect of parents' expectations from their children's school. Let's look at discipline. Well, military schools offer boarding education. There are no military schools which will allow the students to go home after 3 p.m. So it is like this: you go there and live there, and the whole regime of living is based on discipline. So the military schools offer very, very high level of discipline, which is the number one expectation of the parent today. You have to get up at 5 a.m. You have to finish your chores on time. You have to get into the field for a morning parade. Then you have to do parade nicely. You finish your task of physical exercise, which is parade, etc., and then get into the mess to have your breakfast. The breakfast is also set breakfast. Every day there is a different menu. The quantity is based on proteins, carbohydrate, minerals, and how much different carbohydrates, minerals are required by the body. Based on that, the diet is given, and including the breakfast. And all of this is neither very high nor very less. It's optimum. And the same kind of food is given to all students. So there is no classification, and somebody says, I want to do a refill. You can do a refill, but all these things are measured and given based on some sort of rationing. So imagine if your kid is studying in a military school. After 10 years, your kid, when they become mature, they will be having the first nature of getting up early in the morning, doing their morning chores on time, everything on time. So the timetable will become their life. So this is the highest level of discipline the military school can offer to your children. When it comes to the second aspect of maintaining fitness, one of the requirement that military school offers, which is number two after discipline, is the fitness. So once you study in your class, you have the right methodology of grasping the knowledge which is being imparted in the classroom. Then you actually have your lunch. After that, you have some sort of siesta for 1 hour or so. After that, you get into sports, and it's a daily routine. You get up at 5, you finish your parade, you have your breakfast, you do your schools, then you have your lunch, have a relaxation for 1 hour, and then get into sports. It's a daily, every day, 6 days a week. This is a daily affair, and lot of emphasis is given to various fitness regimes which are offered by military school, starting from wrestling, boxing, running, gymnastic, volleyball, cricket. All kinds of things are being provided because military schools have the infrastructure. Military schools are spread across multiple acres of real estate, and they have the infrastructure and they provide that. So by virtue of having the right infrastructure, they are able to provide many activities to your children. So I think on the second parameter of the level of education, along with fitness, military schools definitely excel over the civilian education schools which are teaching based on the civilian method. Now let's come to uh, the bonding. Well, military schools offer such strong bonding between mates because the type of activities they do. Most of the activities the military school offer are the team activities. And when you say team activities, these are, say, for example, a march in the jungle. It's a team activity. So there are methodologies which are inculcated right from very young age into these students, and they form a sort of a very cohesive team, much more stronger than the network of professionals the civilian schools are offering. So when these children come out of the military schools, they can become a military person or they can come to the civilian life, but they will carry these good habits of being disciplined, of being fit, eating the right amount of food, having the knowledge and wisdom balance, and also building a very, very cohesive network of their mates. And they are like friends for life, even though they are world apart, but they will still be in connection all their life. And some of these mates will actually form family ties by marrying their children into the family. So the over years, these mates become family, and that is why the military schools offer a very, very strong bond between their students. So I think the quality that the parents of today are looking for are 100% fulfilled by military schools. So I think the military schools are offering all of this, and also making your child to think very quickly, the quick thinker. Application of his intelligence and wisdom is being taught every moment in the military school. Even if you do small things, you have to think very quickly. So quick thinking is imparted in the cadet in the military school, and therefore military school fulfill all the parameters that the parents are looking for in their children. The only drawback in military school is that it is a boarding program, and I think parents will start missing their children, and the children will start missing their parents because they will not be able to meet every day. Maybe there is I think most of the military school offer once in a month visit by parents for a day or so, and that is a good enough thing for them. But I think that is the only thing missing in the military school. Otherwise, they excel in all the parameters that the parents of today are looking for when they come to selecting the right education system. Military schools offer much more than what you can think of, what you can expect from a civilian school. So, in my opinion, there has been a lot of conversation going on in the media today, especially in India, about the military training. I feel that military training should be made compulsory, and the civilian school must transform into military type training institutes where more emphasis is given to discipline and the quality of character, quick thinker, and application of intelligence in such a way that you have a right solution implemented. So I think these are the qualities that military schools are able to offer. I think this is nothing wrong, in going through this disciplined lifestyle. So I think it is very important for every student to go through some sort of military school at least once in a lifetime. But I'd like to know from you, what do you think? Please send in your comments, and we can have a conversation in the next episode of Morning Brew next Friday. But even though if you have any suggestions or questions, do not hesitate to send in your comments, and I will respond to each one of your comments. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next Friday, same time. Until then, bye bye.